Mr. Chu here with geometry. We're going to find the area of circles, both exact and approximate. I call it lesson 7.02B. So in example 1, it says find the exact area of the circle and the approximate area rounded to the nearest tenth. So I've got 6 feet for the radius here, r equals 6 feet, and I substitute that value here. So area equals pi times 6 feet, and I square that. So 6 feet squared is 36. We don't even need a calculator for that. So it's pi times 36, and feet squared is feet squared. We usually will write the number first, becomes a numerical coefficient. This pi just represents a value, which we usually round to 3.14. But this is the exact area, and we can put an equal sign here. Now, to find the approximate area and round the nearest tenth, we still use this exact. And now I'm going to substitute 3.14, and then I'm going to round it to the nearest tenth. Now, here's my issue. I need to use a calculator for this, because in area problems, volume problems, you need to use a calculator. So the area, and this is approximate, so now instead of an equal sign, I put a double, what's called a tilde. And then when you round this, if I'm rounding the nearest tenth, I always teach students to put a line to the digit I'm rounding to, and then look to the right. If this digit to the right is 5 or greater, you round that up 1. If it is less than 5, you leave that one the same. So my approximate area that I put 2 tildes on is 113 point, and I always have my students put this 0 because I rounded to that, feet squared. And area will always be in square units. All right, so now let's look at one that we don't have the circle figure. I'm just given its radius, and I'm going to change this just because I want to make it so that maybe the rounding is going to be different. Let's do 7.3 meters. All right. So if that's 7.3 meters, I take my area formula, A equals pi r squared for a circle. I substitute the 7.3 meters here, and I square it. I don't know what that's going to be, but I can use my calculator to figure it out. So 7.3 x squared, 53.29, and meters squared is meters squared. Now, I always write that, and this is exact. All right. Now, if they would tell you to round this to the nearest tenth, you would round it by underlining my 2, looking to the right. Is 9 bigger than 5? Yes. So I round this up to 3. So my exact area rounded to the nearest tenth is 53.3 meters squared. Now you notice that I put this approximate. Now to find the approximate, and let's use our exact amount first, and we'll see how close they are. 53.29 meters squared. And this has a pi in it up here. These both have pi's in them. Remember, your exact is going to have the pi's in them. So I'm going to have to substitute pi for 3.14 using the substitution property of equality. So it's 53.29 times 3.14 meters squared. Now there's a really good chance if I use both of these, it's going to end up being the same, but I want to show you both. So I've got my 53.29 times 3.14, which is the value they ask us to use, and it's going to be 167.3306. Now when we round that to the nearest tenth, I look to the right. Is that 3, 5 or bigger? No. So I leave the 3 that I underlined at 3. And then we would put the double tilde here for approximate, 167.3 meters squared. Now what would happen if we would have used this value right here instead? So it ends up being, for the approximate, 53.3 times 3.14 meters squared. So now let's see how close it is to the rounding, and it will probably be the same. It is not. 167.362 meters squared. And remember, if you round twice here, that bumps up. Because that 6 is 5 or bigger, so it becomes 0.4. So these are the 2 area examples. I'm going to give you a couple of challenge problems now. And in the challenge problems, they're going to be exactly like these, only it's got different areas. And let's see if you can do it now. So in challenge 1, you're still finding the area of this circle, and it's 9 inches. A circle with a radius 9 inches finds exact and approximate. And then over here, this is called challenge 2. The radius is 3.6 yards. So find those 2, find exact, and then round to the nearest tenth. Exact, and then nearest tenth. Remember, exact always has it listed in terms of pi. So I'm Mr. Chu. This is bracket geometry. This is the area of circles. There'll be a link up here. If you pause it, you're going to be able to work these out on a piece of paper and then check and see if you did them correctly. Down here will be a link to all of the Unit 7 bracket geometry lessons. I look forward to helping you in geometry. Join me, subscribe to my channel, and then we will do more geometry and make it understandable. I'm Mr. Chu, and I'll see you next time.